I like my beer cold, my TV loud, and my homosexuals flaming.
But she was incredible. She was so gentle. I've never had someone like just, because most people with my hair, yeah, they doing all of this. And you tender-headed, because I got the, they doing all of that. No, I've learned not to be. But,
not to be tender-headed.
because you do. After a while, people pulling on your hair, you just know what's coming, so you just get yourself together for it. And if they get too aggressive, you be like, that's a little bit too much. And then they slow down. But this young lady, like, she evidently went through my hair, and it was like, I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, did you brush it? She said, oh yeah, I brushed it. I'm telling you, she was
Only at the Bennett
short
Career
haircut, really short haircut, and not that first row of boobs, but the second row of boobs, like if just the door, and it's the first row of boobs, and she on that second row, and it's a heavy set girl, and then her. She was great. She was absolutely great.
I don't know who you talking about. Good evening, ladies and
you don't
gentlemen.
come
Welcome to
with
Kewl-Aid
a
Chronicles. My name is Tony.
Sorry.
This happens to be
Dawn.
and this is the esteemed
Dr. Broadnax.
and welcome you to the Kewl-Aid Chronicles. Of course, we're having Kool-Aid, and of course, the good doctor is having vodka.
At the end of a hard day.
You better work, yes.
Yeah.
Tom Collins.
That's right. That's his fourth today,
Tom
and by doctor
Collins.
I mean he's the gynecologist.
Ooh.
So, we're about to.
No, he not.
You could be gay and be a gynecologist. You can do that, right?
You can.
Yeah.
Why
That's
wouldn't
stupid.
you?
That's a stupid question.
That would be perfect.
Exactly. Because you know anything will happen.
I could see
Would
somebody.
you go to a gay gynecologist?
I don't. Whether he's gay or straight doesn't matter to me.
You would go to a man.
I can see.
Would you
No,
go to a man?
I go. Yeah, most of my gynecologists have been there.
I could see a guy saying, "Don't worry, I'm gay."
Yeah.
He's like looking all and mesmerized.
Don't worry, I'm gay.
And she's like, "Are you sure?" Yes, I'm positive. As I go back down it.
So it makes no difference to you.
Nah.
Is your current one?
My current gynecologist is female.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, when I was pregnant, my obstetrician was a male.
Now, do you prefer one over the other?
I mean, more genteel.
I do not prefer one over the other. It honestly does, to me, it does not matter. Well, maybe sometimes, sometimes with a woman, obviously, because she's a woman,
Right.
she's a little bit more knowledgeable of female issues. But a male gynecologist is just as up to date or current with information too.
Should be.
Yeah. So no, I don't really think for me it doesn't matter.
How about
Doesn't
for
matter.
you? Like as far, like physician wise, do you?
Well, my GP, she's a female. But I don't know. There's something a little more gentle and more soothing about a woman. Like my dentist, she's a woman, and she just moved someplace else, and I gotta go track her down because I got used to her. Because they called me for a cleaning the other day, and I was like, I don't want to go. Where's Dr. Geneva? Dr. Geneva, if you're out there, give me a call, girl. She was really sweet. She's like Austrian or something.
Oh.
What happened? Anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Right.
We were discussing the Bobby Brown work of fiction that aired on BET the other evening. For those of you who have seen it, I guess one of the most shocking things in the movie was a lot of people were not aware that Bobby had allegedly had a relationship with a musical icon, Miss Janet Jackson. In fact,
I wasn't aware either.
Okay.
Apparently,
okay.
because apparently during their relationship, she was engaged to someone else. And according to the movie, Janet's father didn't want her to date a black man.
Yeah.
Which was kind of odd because since she ended up with, shortly after that, she ended up with Jermaine Dupri, who was obviously
I think your timeline is incorrect.
Well, I'm just going by what I saw.
Oh, because
Not in the movie, but on something else.
Yeah, okay. But I think that the engagement was to the
Renee.
DeBarge. No,
Chico.
James. Remember, she was married to James.
But I thought they had like a quickie thing. They didn't go through like an engagement.
That's fine, but that's what I think he was referring to, and not Renee or someone else.
That the father didn't want her?
No. What I'm saying is,
Oh, you mean in terms of
when
who
Janet was
engaged
engaged, when Janet was messing with Bobby, that's who he was referring to in terms of,
It
who
didn't
was
really specifically
acceptable.
explain who the person was that she was?
No,
with
it
at the
didn't
time?
specifically explain.
Okay.
You were led to believe, and I believe it was probably.
Led you to believe. Do you guys ever have this issue when you watch a biopic that it's really hard to kind of like do that? What do they call it? Suspension of disbelief when the person looks absolutely nothing like that individual. Like, I'm sorry, but the guy who played Bobby Brown was a little too good looking to play Bobby Brown.
Well, okay, maybe, but he got Bobby's mannerisms down to a T.
Okay.
And he definitely did a great job on the dancing scenes.
Okay.
He was
And how about the guy who played,
outstanding
the young lady that played Whitney?
Oh, she was outstanding.
She look like Whitney to you?
Again, didn't necessarily look like Whitney, but definitely captured Whitney's essence.
Mm-hmm.
And you all would know her because people were like, "Where have we seen her?"
She
before?
was on The Game.
She was on The Game.
Yeah, she
was
played
Malik's
the pregnant
baby mama.
the one night stand that ended up getting pregnant.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch The Game?
Oh God.
You don't even remember The Game?
No, I did, but I don't. It wasn't like a favorite show. It was like one of those. Oh, it's on.
Yeah.
And
The Game kind of over.
so I can't really remember, but I know what.
The
you're
Game was a
speaking
weird
about.
show though,
I like
because it was supposed to be a sitcom, but it had a laugh track. But then it would get like really, really serious.
dramatic. Yeah, I thought it was
Like really dramatic. I'm
Yeah.
like, God. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was supposed to be funny. Y'all getting really, really dramatic right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, she was on there for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So that's the young lady that played Whitney. I didn't think the young lady who played Janet, well, she didn't really look
Yeah.
like
Well,
her
and
to
she
me.
didn't have. Yeah. She
And did
wasn't on there very long.
Portrayed Janet a little ballsier than one
Of
would
course.
perceive Janet
Yes,
to be.
I would think so. Yes. But I thought the standout was the young woman that played Bobby Christina. It was kind of eerie because she really bears a striking resemblance to Bobby Christina. And the reason that took me so much was because this same young lady that played Bobby Christina in the movie was the daughter on the show Power, if anybody watches Power. And there was a character, Raina, and she was just recently killed off of the show. And when I saw her on the show, I never made the connection of her playing Bobby Christina. But when they showed her in the movie, I was like, oh my God, like, yeah, she looks exactly like her. I think she did an excellent job portraying Bobby Christina.
So I didn't see the movie, but does the movie go all the way up to the death of both of Whitney and Bobby Christina?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And apparently there was a portrayal of Bobby's current wife that apparently Bobby has an evil sister who will call you out on anything and everything. But apparently she didn't react or portray, I guess, her in the legitimacy of what his Bobby Brown's sister said that she was. Like, apparently she didn't really. Apparently Bobby Brown's sister had this perception that Bobby Brown's wife tries to keep him away from his family, and that it didn't portray that way in the movie.
I'm going to tell you, that's really what the movie was about for me. I saw that movie as Bobby Brown's way of justifying his relationship with his current wife. Because we learned that this young lady, Alicia, she was a record company executive or something at one point, maybe his assistant or something. And then he wanted to make it seem like in time passed, and then they got back together.
But apparently they were together, or
God knows
knew
they
each
were
other.
Yeah,
when he was still married to Whitney.
Absolutely. And I was like, did she write this script? Because really, honestly, because why was she even instrumental in the conversation? Like, in my world, she should not have even existed as a character, like maybe a small character in the movie.
Because she realistically would have been towards the end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because didn't they also sort of downplay the fact that I didn't know this until seeing the clips from the movie, that Whitney had gotten pregnant before Bobby Christina and the baby.
She had a miscarriage.
She had a miscarriage, but apparently Bobby then impregnated another young lady at the same time.
Kim Ward. And do you understand what's fascinating with Kim Ward? The mother of the Kim Ward, she's the mother of LaPrincia and Bobby Jr.
I'm sorry, what's her name?
LaPrincia is the daughter, and Bobby Jr. She is married to Carl Payne.
Carl Payne. Oh, the actor. The Parkers.
Martin Show.
The Parkers.
What's
Oh,
his
no.
name? Martin
The
Show.
other guy. Oh, yeah.
Cole on the Martin Show.
Yeah, okay.
His Bobby Brown's baby mama
Cockroach.
is married to him. Yes, Cockroach. Yes, I thought that was so fascinating, and I'd love to know more about. See, that would have been interesting to put in the Bobby Brown story because I'd like to know how those two met. And there was a scene that was quite pivotal because Bobby gets drunk one night. I guess Whitney won't let him in the house. Somebody won't let him. No, the girl Alicia won't let him in the house. Mm-hmm. He then goes to Kim's house, and Kim is now living with Carl. And Carl isn't home or whatever. And Bobby's son says, "When is Daddy coming home?"
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure that didn't rest well.
I mean, what could he do? No, he didn't. You know, what could he do? He wasn't around. He wasn't there. So, yeah. But I mean, all in all, well done movie, honestly.
But there were so many people denying it. You guys have got to look up. I wish I will tag it in this video. But there was a video that played on YouTube of the show, and it listed all the people. Well, it framed out all the tweets of people who were like shocked that, wait a minute, Bobby Brown, Janet Jackson.
Yeah, no,
it started with 50
secret.
Cent and just went on to all these other different celebrities who were just kind of like, yeah, right, okay, like, nah.
Yeah.
And then somebody then explaining, well, you know, Janet, she never really, you know, she didn't mind an ugly dude, because, you know.
Well, and that's what finally made me accept it, because I said, okay, she was with Jermaine Dupri for 7 years.
Yeah, but that was and this thing said, well, she was with Jermaine Dupri, and that was before he got his teeth fixed.
Okay, yeah, so.
Because apparently he got his
I'd like to hear more about why this conversation, you're looking at us like, you know, you smell shit. So I want to know why you didn't watch it. Why aren't you?
You know he doesn't turn to those sorts of channels. He's too busy watching PBS.
But, well, it was two things I was thinking. So the reason I didn't watch it is because I just am not a great fan of Bobby.
And that's your prerogative.
And it is.
Dun-dun-dun.
Right. And I felt that it was a counter to the original, to the Whitney movie. Because he felt so negatively about how he was portrayed there. So I figured it was going to be a counter to that. And to me, it's still not the essence of the truth.
True.
Now, did you see both of them?
I did.
So did that one seem like the antithesis of the first one?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it was like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to know what the story was because everybody was going to complete opposite of it.
Well, somebody like me who's good at deciphering stories, like I can now take those two elements and piece them together. Yeah. Now, I'm going to tell you something else, though, that he brought out more in his movie, obviously, than Whitney would bring out in hers. He really addressed that whole Robin thing, Whitney's best friend Robin. And I'm going to tell you, something offends me when people do that with women when they have girlfriends. Why did it have to be that Robin was gay and Robin and Whitney were in it? Yeah. That offends me when people do that. I don't know why it offends me.
What part are you talking about?
Well, the rumor was always that Robin was gay and that Robin and Whitney were in a relationship, to the extent where there's a scene. Bobby
she lived with all of them, right?
Well, she was around quite a bit, yes.
She was the assistant.
She was Whitney's assistant. And there is a scene where Bobby's cooking food, and he and Whitney a plate, and he goes to bring Whitney her plate, and Robin snatches the plate from out of his hand, and she begins to eat it, and then he and Robin get in a back and forth, and he kicks Robin out and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there are some women, like I'm sure with Whitney,
because he at some point raised his hand to her, right?
I guess that was the thing. Yeah, they had gotten into a little altercation or whatever. But I don't know how to explain it. There's some people that are just close to their girlfriends. Like maybe Robin you could have replaced Robin with a sister, and it would have been the same thing.
Okay, so basically the movie hinted without saying that they were lovers?
Exactly.
Which just followed the rumor.
That
was always a rumor.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what happened in the Whitney version?
I don't even think Robin was even really all that addressed in the Whitney version.
No, she was there, but they didn't address that part. They didn't address that
specific rumor. Scenes and specific incidents that may have happened.
So she was there, and you did see how I don't want to say I'll just say how authoritative she was in Whitney's life. You saw that, which I think was always the issue that Bobby had with her, was I'm supposed to be your husband, yet there's this other woman that seems to have more control than I do. And, but realistically, she was. And I'm trying to think if I think Robin was a family member or for some reason.
Cousin or something.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, like maybe even a first cousin. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I really think
So
she
how
was
they
a
gonna say
first
that they were
cousin.
lovers?
Well, that's what
it was just a
rumor, right?
Because you always saw them together, and even in the Whitney movie, she kind of looks like the femdom lesbian of the 80s.
She was, yeah.
You know,
she
was
did
like,
kind of have that androgynous or whatever
Right.
type of look. You're right.
So kind of shorter haircut.
Yeah.
You know,
A
kind
tall,
of right,
big girl.
And,
More like
no, but you know, just a little more masculine than what you would expect.
Right.
You know, I
Yeah.
guess.
It's interesting that there's never really been like a follow up. Like nobody like hunts her down. Nobody.
Well,
really,
that was my thing.
Nobody's-
Robin. Why
But you
haven't
know-
we ever heard anything from her?
Like was she even like at the funeral?
That's what I want to know. I can't
I'm
remember.
sure she was.
But I just found it interesting that they hounded Whitney, chased her down. She was always the topic of tabloids. That there would not have been like, okay, the Robin, whatever her last name is, interview, or this is her going to the grocery store. This is her at Costco or something.
Right.
After all this time.
Well, I wouldn't think that that's like strange because she.
Yeah, but they
really
will. Tabloids will go to the obscure.
Yeah,
we
but
want to hear
she-
from Robin. Even after this Bobby Brown movie and the way she was portrayed, I want to hear from Robin now.
But then,
What's her version of the story?
Is Robin's version,
Right, because a book would sell some money.
Well, she could write a book.
Would make some money.
She could definitely write a book.
Oh yeah.
But do you think that would actually be the story, or is that just the third side?
Well,
Right,
it's a
because
third
the
side.
unfair thing at this point is that you're framing a story. I'm saying this last movie. You're framing a story where the two, pivotal characters are gone,
Right.
and can't really defend themselves.
And she's the only one that was always
Whitney and
there.
Bobby Christina.
And Bobby. Well, Bobby's here, but
No, but I'm saying he's telling the story,
Right.
but nothing can be corroborated.
Right.
Corroborated because
Right.
Whitney and Bobby Christina are dead.
Because that was another thing that was interesting. Bobby is denying all knowledge of the young man.
Gordon.
son.
Gordon, yes. When I understood that kid was around when Bobby was around, but he's trying to say he don't know who that kid was, and I'm like,
So-
You don't know who he was.
swear to God,
So-
in the
So then
movie,
who sued him?
I don't know.
You allowed your daughter to be living and carrying on with this brother that you have
No idea who he is, right?
Because there was also something that I saw where apparently his introduction was as a runner for her at one point.
Who? The little boy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I don't know where
I
the
don't know
kid
how
came from, but it was my understanding he came like maybe at the age of 10, 11, 12 into their lives some kind of way.
Really?
Yeah, I remember the story being he was very young.
Later, it wasn't like baby.
So nobody
No.
specifically knows why he would have been living with her at 10 years.
It appears that maybe a friend or something fell on hard times or something.
Right. From my understanding, it was just in general somebody that she kind of took on. For whatever the reason was, she kind of adopted him into their family, and she took on the role of kind of taking care of him.
But this is similar to the thing I just said about Robin. We're still hearing stories about him. Why are we hearing nothing about Robin?
Right, I agree.
Robin
Right.
is not really essential to the story.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is.
But see,
But Robin
she's
knows
only
all the tea, I would
essential.
feel.
But see, I think that is part of the thing. Robin would become just as messy just now in her death to be talking about whatever took place. So I think she's doing the right thing. She's like, the lady has died, and especially if it was her cousin, she's passed on. It's been some years. Let her rest. Why are we
keep digging it up,
and dredging up this past?
No, I'm not saying that she should be coming out and doing anything.
Well,
I'm just surprised that, the tabloids aren't hunting her down looking for
they may
a
have.
story.
They may have.
And she's
Because
good.
She may
she's,
have just
she's
like
good.
declined to talk about it.
Because I came across some
she's
videos on YouTube of, again, the sister, and apparently she just She talks about Pat. She talks about Pat basically wanting to be Whitney and that she hated Whitney and just all these like wretched stories about her.
But you have to think, have we ever really heard of a sibling of Whitney's?
Yeah, her brother.
I mean, but you
what
don't
about
hear, in the essence of like her story, you don't really hear about these people. So I could definitely see how they feel, you know, in the shadow of her, and you know, and that over time breeds resentment.
Well, no, but Pat is her sister-in-law.
Right.
She's married to Whitney's brother. What?
I mean,
You're still in the shadow of this person,
right?
And
yeah, because she had supposedly worked for her for a long time. Or something?
Pat, yeah, I think when Robin finally fell off, then Pat picked up. Yeah.
But it's
interesting
television,
television.
especially the Janet aspect of it, because that was.
I think that was so irrelevant. Why he not put?
Yeah, well, I know.
It was just.
I know. Although, though,
what did that make into the story?
Well, let me just say
this. It made a little bit of shock to people.
It made some shock, but then it also, my observation from that conversation was the whole point, though. Other than Hazel, who is Jermaine's son by...
Hazel was Jermaine's son?
I'm sorry. Jermaine's daughter by... oh, no, Hazel is the daughter. What's the little girl's... Jermaine married Hazel Gordy.
Right.
And they had a child. Okay?
It does that.
And they had a child. Other than this child, are there any dark-skinned Jacksons? Name one.
Well, we don't really know all of them, but
doesn't matter.
I don't think so.
All of those kids have all married or had children with light-skinned, fair-skinned men, women, whoever.
So now, why do you think that is?
What's your point?
Well, that is the question. Why is that? And so Bobby brought that out in terms of the dad not wanting. That was the whole point. I think
so
of bringing out the Janet thing.
The dad told them not to marry dark-skinned people.
Or just had a problem with black skin, black people.
But okay, so then even still, what does that have to do with Bobby's story? Is he saying,
Well,
"Oh,
that
I
was
could
his
have
political,"
been,
I thought.
Mr. Janet Jackson, but her dad didn't want."
Exactly. That was his point, because I was too
considering
dark.
Bobby's record at that point, I think it would be more or less, it's just you. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. Because by the time they would have gotten together, you know, all that stuff, all the stuff that he'd already like been in the headlines for would have been out there. So of course I'm not gonna I don't want my daughter with that.
Yeah, true.
No matter
But Bobby Brown was a star, and so for me, the Jackson legacy would have been, you know, linking up the two stars.
Yeah, but look at all the 9 children and the people that they have come in contact with. You don't see them matching up with stars because, well, other than the Priscilla Presley daughter, I mean Elvis Presley daughter, you don't really see them matching up with people in the industry. You see them matching up with just regular folk.
True. White folks. Or ethnicity other than African American. I mean, I don't know. It's the Jacksons. I don't know.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this as kind of a sidebar. Did y'all know that Daddy Jackson died?
Yeah.
No.
I thought we did a show and we toasted
You didn't know he
him.
was dead?
I just found out this
No,
week.
that's not
Are
true.
you serious?
No,
I was
Dude, he
shocked.
died at like the beginning of the summer.
No, we did a show and we toasted to him, I thought. I really did.
I
think
don't know.
we did. We acknowledged his passing.
Maybe I wasn't.
Yeah, there was
I wasn't.
Tom Collins. Because, you know.
I remember that probably, yeah. Well, yeah.
I was shocked to find out. I was like, no.
Because it was even when she was still on tour, because she was putting up all these pictures of her and her father.
Oh, I didn't even know that. But I was surprised. I just said there wasn't this big fanfare. You know, there wasn't this big.
He wasn't a celebrity. He's a parent of a celebrity.
No, but
True,
he
but I
bragged
think if you think
I understand
about
what he
it-
did, but at the same time, it was like the relevance of it in terms of.
Well, I think to me that's important. You know, as much as people idolize Michael and Janet and, you know, talk about the Jackson 5, he was the creator of all of it.
Right, but he was also kind of like portrayed as kind of like a villain and a bad
True,
dad
but-
in a lot of aspects.
But he's still the
Did that
creator.
thing. He
You know,
sure
I
did.
just think I would have thought it would have been more to it. Almost, but I look at him like Matthew Knowles. When Matthew Knowles died,
He did?
no, I said
It's when.
he
Oh,
died.
when? Oh.
Will it be kind of the same thing? Yeah.
No, I don't
We
think
gonna
so.
kick dirt on his grave.
No, I don't think it'd be the same thing because
Why?
because
Like him.
you know What's his name?
Matthew Knowles?
No, the Jackson father. What's his name?
Oh, Joe Jackson.
Joe. He spawned like a whole generation of kids. You know, Matthew Knowles did
Ball
one.
team.
He got one.
Two. What you talking
I'm
about?
sorry, two.
Well, okay.
Sorry,
You
too.
correct yourself.
No.
What? He got 3 or 4, right?
I'm saying
It's
celebrity
four.
kids. I'm saying celebrity kids.
Okay, well, we
Okay.
don't know what them other 2 gonna do yet. They young.
First of all,
We don't
Kelly
know.
is one of them.
No,
Kelly's not his child.
Kelly is not his child. I
Y'all
know.
keep believing that. Kelly is not my child.
Okay,
No,
Kelly
Kelly
not
is
his child.
Kelly is not his.
Kelly is not like his.
Kelly.
Well, I mean, I don't know, but I don't think. I
Where
never
she
heard
come
that.
from?
No, we never see her parents, do we?
No.
See, that's
well,
the
no,
same thing like
no,
Whitney's,
they told the
little
story,
son.
though. They told the story.
Whitney had a son?
The guy.
That little boy,
oh,
Ed, yeah, where he came from. And
It's
I
not
think
Ed Gordon. That's the other one. It's they
No,
somebody.
I think his
I
last
think
name
his
is Gordon.
No, Ed Gordon is the newscaster from BET.
But I also think the young man's
Nick
name
Gordon.
Nick.
I knew it was Gordon's son.
Nick. Okay, got it, Nick. But
Whitney raising Ed
Kelly
Gordon.
is not the daddy's child. It was a situation, a similar situation though, that Kelly and Beyonce and all them. It was a family friend.
Right, they knew
and
each
fell
other
on
for-
some
for
hard
very, very
times,
young.
and so she asked them would they help her out with her child, and that's how they all
But you
got
never
so
see her
close.
parents. You never see her parents.
Well, I don't think Kelly's
you,
father is
because-
alive. I think her mother maybe, and I think Kelly's mother has passed away actually. Well, God forgive me if that's not true, Kelly. Please forgive me.
I think
Yes, because Kelly's watching.
I hope
Kewl-Aid
so.
Chronicles. Anyway.
Kelly is Matthew's daughter
Not at all.
with the mother.
Not at all.
And in order for her to have the stardom and be in the group, and for it to be kind of like a mum's the word, the mother had to stay out of the picture and let Matthew do what he does. And that's why he raised her as Beyonce's cousin.
So you have infected this man.
I
with
know.
it.
But that was the story years ago.
I know.
There's a whole
but I
lot of
still
conspiracy
think that's
theory on that side of the
true.
room.
First,
Kelly
they was
was
like,
not
okay,
sure.
but where's Kelly? And then, that's Beyonce.
We never saw Michelle's parents either.
But Michelle was
Was
not
that,
family.
yeah, we
All
knew
the tro-
Michelle's how
that's
Michelle came in. Yeah, we
But
knew how they came. Well, and then they sued him. It's. I don't believe Kelly is.
Okay.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
Yeah, and Matthew was a dirty, low down dog, but
What?
I don't think he did. Yeah,
It'd be like to be 36 and got a 4-year-old sibling.
I know.
That's why
Your sibling's younger than your child.
Okay,
Tina couldn't wait to get away.
child. Oh
She
God.
said, "I'm on the first thing."
And living her best life.
Yes,
with her,
I need me a what's his name? Richard Lawson. Jesus, I need me a Richard Lawson.
I think there's only one.
I
Anyway,
know.
our next topic is
He don't want.
the incident that took place in Dallas over the
Oh God, yes.
weekend. You're all aware of this. Yeah,
What is it?
the police officer?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so apparently a Caucasian police officer had worked an 18-hour shift. She returned home to her mid-level high-rise building, I'm saying in terms of
I need to
floor.
see this building. Yeah.
No, they showed it. It looked like it had like maybe less than 10 floors. Apparently she got off on the wrong floor. And in some of the more modern buildings, they have fobs to open the door, individual door.
Key fobs, right?
So she attempted to open the key fob with the door that she thought as she walked into her apartment. It did not work. All of a sudden the door opens and there's a black man standing there. She shoots and kills him.
And it was his apartment.
So the story went from
True story.
no, but the first story. No, I forgot what the first story was. Oh, the first story was the one that I just said. Now the second story that you told me today
Yeah,
is that
well,
she's changed the story to what was it again?
That when she approached the door was ajar.
Okay.
She pulls out her weapon, and then the young man is there. She asks him to identify himself, and he's like, who the fuck are you, type of thing.
Coming to my door, asking
And
me
then
why.
boom, and she shoots.
Now, granted, she was in full uniform.
She was in full uniform.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you asking me something?
No,
Oh.
I mean the absurdity
I
of
was
it.
going to say now.
You need to come over. Am I over too
from
far? Or are you too far away?
from both sides. I mean, not from both sides, but also from two standpoints. I think that
Slide over. You got the frame.
Why I got to be
You're
so
out of the
close?
frame!
You see that? Don't want to sit at this table. We got to sit all on top of each other. When we was on the couch, spread all out.
You know,
she
Miss Dixon's in the... Do y'all need a moment?
No, what did you call her
Yeah.
earlier?
Gretchen.
So the lady, so she gets off on the wrong floor. So what is her defense?
Yeah, she's trying to say that she came to his apartment, that, you know, she was tired. It's almost similar. It's akin to when people leave their children in the back car in the middle of the summer in the back of the car and say that, oh, I forgot my baby was in the back. It's akin to that. It's akin to
Why
that.
these kids are dying?
It's akin to that.
Okay.
And so she's trying to say that, you know, she was tired. She went to the wrong apartment. She thought someone had broken into her apartment and he had to die.
But at the same time, she is the person in control because she has a gun. So she's the one that could evoke dialogue. You don't have to instantly start shooting.
Exactly. And what I never fully understand with the police is why you can't ever shoot somebody in the leg.
Because they're not trained to do that.
Well, that's fascinating to me. That's fascinating to me.
They're trained to kill.
Just shoot me in the leg. I'm not going to go anywhere if you shoot me in the
if
leg.
you are basically feeling
threatened.
feeling some level of threat, or that
true.
your own life is in danger.
That's true. But when you learn that, when you go to the academy, they don't say, okay, now this is how you shoot in the arm.
That's too bad. They need to.
Because clearly she was very close to him.
Shoot to kill type thing. So it's
But at least this is not another one of those stories where somebody's getting off. She was arrested.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
but see, that's
going
what
to be charged.
I was going to say. But she can be charged. But then what is going to be her defense?
Yeah.
Because now she's actually set herself up for two different defenses. The first being that she was tired, which is plausible. You know, I made a mistake. I came to a door, and when I did my fob, it didn't work. But then the door opened, so I was kind of startled, and then I proceeded. But then also to say the door was ajar. So now you got to make up your mind which one it is.
That's
but
right.
if you were tired, do you really remember that it was ajar?
Right.
Ma'am, you need a good lawyer.
Yeah.
Sir, you
Yeah.
deceased.
Yeah.
I was about to say, sir,
Yeah.
if you need a lawyer, I can help.
But I mean, what is this though? What is this phenomenon that, like, we've never in our lives heard, I've never in my life, and I've had a lot of experiences and I've known a lot of people, but I've never heard someone say I went to the wrong apartment.
Oh, I've done that.
Have you really? Okay, I stand corrected.
Well, put it this way.
Gone to the wrong apartment and knocked on the door. Not gone to the wrong apartment and started to try to go in.
Now, I'll tell you this, not apartments. I've done that in hotels.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Because especially in hotels, all the floors are alike.
Yeah.
But they do in apartments.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Don't you know where you live. You know your floor. Something to me seems like when you get off the elevator and something is going to look or feel or sound different, I would think, from your floor.
I don't know.
No?
I mean, I
like that little thing of the number that's on the door.
But do you look at that?
Well, I do. Not deliberately, but only because it's right there. Like, my number is right there on the side of my door. So, yeah, I can kind of look at it.
Okay.
But I'm not looking at it to like, oh, yeah, this one's mine. I'm looking at it because it's right there in my face. It's like at eye level.
Because, see, where I'm going is conspiracy theory, but
Here we go.
I think that the two of them were in a relationship.
And she killed him?
Yeah. Something happened. He wanted to break up with her. She was mad. She went over there and she did what she did.
And that's why you don't date people in your apartment building?
Pick this up, baby.
I mean, it could be.
Yeah, that's what I really think it is. And she using all this shit about she was tired and she got off on the wrong floor. Because I don't mean no harm. I've never heard nobody ever say that. Ooh, now, in the parking lot,
only because
you go to the wrong car. That does happen. That does happen.
It's the difference.
It's a big difference to me.
Because if you could, the same way you said, well, don't you know your apartment? You know, like this is the apartment you go to every day.
Yeah.
You walk out of the apartment, you go back to it every day. The same thing when you walk up to your car, shouldn't you know your car?
Okay.
That would be like the same type of.
Yeah, but maybe with her, because she has a very distinctive color car. But I'm sure, don't you ever walk up to the wrong car?
There's lots of Benzes.
Well, no, I tend not to park next to it.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can't control what park's next to you after you're parked.
Well, true. Now, see, for me, I can recognize my car by the tint. Because generally, people with my car don't have the windows tinted, or if they're from Maryland, the tint is much darker. So I've never seen a car with the same percentage of tint that I have.
But even from a distance, you've never sort of like, oh, no, that was not mine.
No.
Oh, okay.
That I have not done. But
and obviously you don't, because again,
I would say
you have
not
such a distinctive
because
color.
it just has not happened. Not because I would really recognize it. Because like I said, I would be the one to walk to a wrong door. I've done it countless times, especially
Really?
even like I said hotel. Now there are times when I spend like a week and a half at a hotel, so you would think you know your floor
by now,
but
right?
it's just not at the forefront of my mind,
Well, I wouldn't
and you
expect
become
a hotel.
so robotic.
Yeah.
Okay, but have there ever been? Now I lost the question I was going to ask. Where did it go?
Well,
Instances where you're that tired, where you're making those kinds of mistakes. Of exactly where you're going and what you're doing?
I could probably say I would be tired because it's usually during my convention, and so that is kind of wearing. Does wear on me a lot. So it probably is like a mental
block,
exhaustion type thing. But then
But
I
not
think
even
a
just
lot
during
of
those
times-
instances, but even when you're like at home and you're doing something and you're just kind of like, I'm so tired. I'm not really sure where I'm going. I'm not really sure what I'm doing.
Not if I'm at home.
Not necessarily in your home. I'm saying if you're like in your routine in town. Not home, but in town.
No, I don't think that has ever happened to me.
So you've never been that tired?
I know where I'm going.
I've been exhausted to the point like where I will fall asleep in the car and
Yes,
things like that.
I have done that.
But, you know,
I've done that.
Like while driving?
No, not while driving.
Well,
You didn't mean while
I've
driving.
done it not while in motion, but like
Yeah, you
stop
park
at
the
a
car,
stoplight.
yeah.
But I know that because that's what I will do. When I stop, I put my car in park.
Exactly.
And so somebody may have to beat the horn behind me, and then I'll go ahead. But yeah,
I remember seeing this video of this cop. He had stopped a car at a stoplight. He goes up to the car and the guy's like in the driver's seat, fast asleep.
It can happen. It does happen. I don't know. I just think that's just a strange.
Well, as things will progress, maybe some of the more details and you know, a
And we
more
gonna
legitimate story
find-
will come out.
They was
Y'all want to talk about
loving
this?
a little teeny bit about that.
Yes, we was always into the hatchets.
Yeah.
all right.
Well, Serena is.
You want to get in the frame? You could have just switched the camera, because it's a whole lot of me. Shut up.
Well, first of all, that's because you're leaning in like this. So yeah, it's a whole lot of you. If you sit in your chair properly.
And speaking on to that issue,
Losing, then cheat.
no, on to something completely different, because there was something that I did intend to bring up when we were talking earlier about subjects for this evening's program.
This evening's program.
Albany Redbow Media, which produces the Kewl-Aid Chronicles, is not their only installment into the media frame. We also produce a program called We Speak. The two individuals sitting to my right appeared on said program last week. Now, neither of them will ever see said show.
You don't
More
watch
spec-
We Speak?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well,
He watches.
he watches, but somebody else at the table does not.
I don't.
I'm not going to mention any names.
I don't.
So, it was an interesting conversation that we were having on the phone this afternoon about your apprehension or your hesitation to watch yourself on camera. Which, you know, I remember telling you, I don't necessarily understand, but what your fear is in that.
It's not so much a fear. Well, maybe that is right.
Well, before you go into that, let's hear from, you know, briefly, Dr. Broadnax. Do you have issue watching yourself on camera?
No, I find it amusing.
You find that
Really?
amusing?
I do.
What do you mean when you say amusing?
Because I find that oftentimes I may say something that kind of makes me chuckle, and when I go back and look at it again, I find myself sitting there just like with full-on smile. So it amuses me to see myself like.
So you're not critical of anything physical, or the sound of your voice, the texture of your hair,
all
your
of
mascara being a little uneven, things like that.
Gosh, no, I have the bomb makeup artist.
Okay.
No, I used to, and it's funny because I mentioned that I was talking to my boss today, and we were talking about people, and I said that was what kind of kept me from doing a lot of things in my past, was because I was critical, but not of myself. I was more afraid of what other people thought. So of what they thought I sounded like, what they thought of the things that I said, how I looked. So therefore I was just like, why even interject yourself into that?
Yeah.
And the moment that I stopped, then it was like I was just able to do a lot of things that I physically was not able to do before.
And the topic for that show that was filmed last week was called the personality test. And one of the questions a respondent gave was, the question was, what is something that you fear? Ms. Dickerson says that she fears success. So if you were to become successful in the television genre, you would never watch it?
No, I never go back and watch an episode. Never.
So if you had your own network talk show, you would never,
For what?
ever watch it?
I was there. It's a waste of my time. So I'm going to do a 2-hour show and then turn back around and watch it for another 2 hours?
Well, say you were interviewing, I said Coretta Scott King.
Okay.
You interview Coretta, baby.
Yeah, don't put that on me.
If you were interviewing some fabulous luminary,
Oprah
you would
Winfrey.
never
Condoleezza Rice.
That's a luminary.
Yes, I like Condoleezza. So
I'm sorry,
yes.
no offense, Condoleezza. She looked good at the hearings the other day.
She did, but why was she there? But that's a whole nother story. That's a whole nother
Honey,
story.
I'm about to blow this pot wide
Yeah,
open. She said,
yeah.
just give me an opportunity.
Okay.
So if you were interviewing Oprah or Miss Condoleezza Rice, you would never go back and watch it?
No need to.
You
I
would-
have no need for it.
So you would be completely trusting of whomever edited it, even if they were editing it to make your conversation completely not what you want.
Well, see, now, okay. So then maybe I'm telling a fib because I would want to be engaged in the editing.
Because based on, for those of you who don't know, the block of time of what we taped last week ended up into 2 shows, but they sat there basically the entire time. So I basically had to move things around to accommodate the time, filling a whole lot of station breaks and all of that. So there was a lot of editing to your conversation. I had to take out some of the bloopers that you had done as well. So basically, anybody can go in.
Was I the only one that's right? I was the only one that did a blooper.
You're the only one that's here.
When did we get bloopers?
No. Remember when that portion was...
When I was sweating?
No. I took that out, of course. But when I was asking the question at the end, and you wanted to take a little bit of time before you responded. But there was a point where you were sort of like waving off. I cut that part out.
Oh.
So you're just going to trust whatever editor there is to just create whatever your image goes out as.
Yeah, honestly though,
granted, I
trust the editor.
Right.
But honestly,
the editor is
this
fabulous.
whole media, art, or whatever, to me is about the moment. The magic that happens in the moment. And you can manipulate it some with editing, but it is what it is. It just is what it is. And so I just don't feel a need to go back because see what the real deal is I will go back and then I will pick apart every little thing I did wrong or that I perceive as wrong.
Okay, so then why isn't it when you're picking apart everything that you feel that you did wrong, why are you not using that to then better the next performance?
Well, who says that the next performance wasn't better? See, that's the thing. See, now you're projecting stuff onto me because what I kept explaining to Tony was, for me, I thought I did really well on that show.
You did.
You did? I told you did.
But you don't understand though. Because you keep saying, well, why you use that to make the next performance better? Well, what you don't get is there was I did have my little sweating episode, but the fact that I was just even able to sit there and you didn't see me shaking like this, because that's normally,
I can identify with that because I said when I taped the first one, Tony asked me also, he was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, I'm fine. And he was like, because you're not saying anything. You remember the first show?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's just your normal thing with everybody.
Wait a minute.
Because people are always different, and I never understand the difference.
Being so terrified.
Yeah.
When I taped Spill the Tea with Shaquita Lee, that was a disaster.
Oh.
But it had to be done in so many takes because my nervousness just was like through the roof.
Yeah.
That it was like, ask a question, answer the question. She was like, okay, stop.
Give her a minute, yeah.
All right, it's just us talking.
Yeah,
You know, then we went back in, asked another question, then it was like, stop.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't get over it.
Yeah.
But I guess for me, it's understanding that when I see a person doing something, like that time I saw you at UDC. Yeah, UDC. And you say what?
I said picking my nose.
No, that time I saw you at UDC at that hair show, there were like thousands, well not thousands, but hundreds of people in the audience. I figured, okay, you can stand up there and do that.
But
why can't you sit on a set when there's no more than like 9 people in the room?
Totally different.
Well, for me, like I said, my thing is I feel like it's a little different. I had to get over my own mental state to be able to do that. And so like even to the point people were like, okay, were you drunk? Like what happened? Because nobody had ever seen me like that.
Yeah.
Neither did I.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
But it was like,
which made me confused about that first time you and we speak, because I'm like, okay,
exactly.
You're pretty cool. Why are you sitting there not talking?
Because
and even Jeffrey was the same way. Jeffrey gave a completely different performance the second time around.
What it is you have to adjust to the dynamic. And so like for me, I try to be conscious when people are talking. Like if we're talking and Dawn starts talking, I'm going to stop because I want to hear, but also I want to be respectful of her talking. So it was the same type of thing. But then when you also said, okay, because my answer was, I'm fine, I'm just waiting. And you were like, you can't wait. You just have to jump in.
Just the same way you would have any other average conversation.
No.
But see, I wouldn't.
Yeah, and that's
I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I noticed, like, when you start talking, just like now, you were starting, I said something, you stopped.
Right.
So, generally, that's what it is. So,
Yes.
if I'm sitting in my chair, and I'm looking at everybody, and you can read the language.
Yes.
You know, you see when somebody wants to say something, and you can just be right there, and when they start, you stop.
Yes.
You know, as opposed to two people talking and you're trying
but there was more than that. There were moments where you were just kind of like,
really? I did?
not you, the first time.
The first time?
Yes.
It was like 15 minutes into the show, Tony.
What you mean it was 15 minutes into the show?
Into that first show, the first taping?
Yeah.
That happened like at
last week. I'm talking about the very first time.
At the very beginning.
Yeah.
And then after you said that, I was like, okay, but I think even still I had to adjust to the dynamic of what was going on, who the people were, what their...
Because was Riley the only person that you knew?
Yeah.
Oh, so you'd never met Alvin or Shane or Ernest before? Oh, okay. I thought you knew at least one of them.
And then Riley didn't even talk to me, so...
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
A lot of that going around.
I cannot go back and watch myself. I cannot invest
So you feel like you'll never be able to do that?
I'm not ready to do it right now in my life. I don't feel the need to do it.
Okay, this would just be my suggestion. Is just ease yourself into it. Because it would be...
I don't understand why it's so important to you.
Because I think it would make you a better performer on camera. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your performance, but I think it would relax you better. It would relax you more, and it would make you a better performer on camera because you would know the things that you would not feel comfortable in doing.
Okay. So
and the things that and the holes that you could feel.
And I think it would give me more of a confidence.
Because
I know with me sitting here, it's like, okay, I'm holding my stomach in the entire time.
We'll see. Okay.
But see, okay, now the difference that I see,
I'm trying to not give too much profile. I'm looking ahead, but I'm
different personalities, right? And I get what you're saying.
Thank you.
And I understand what she's saying. I'm saying grow out of it though.
But listen to what she's saying. That it's going to her doing that is going to be further damaging for her. So she's not going to do that.
Yes.
But what could work is, as you look at it,
you
could
tell
say,
me.
You know what, Dawn? I noticed that. You know, you usually sit like this when you're on camera. Try sitting with and things like that stick.
Yes.
They stick a lot.
Yeah, but just in the simple way that she said herself, I'm going to pull all these things apart. Those are the things that you should be looking at that will then help you to not do again, or emphasized in a different way when you see yourself.
True to a point, because in that process, Dawn is going to say, okay, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and she's going to internalize this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, which is not going to
take away
help her
from
the confidence that she has in doing it.
Yes.
But at the same time,
thank you.
Your dream is always to do this web series. So you were not going to be on it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry?
I don't know.
Okay, so then if you were on it, then obviously you would have to be involved in the editing process. You're not going to just like create something and never watch it.
Right. Sure. But then now you make me, maybe I don't want to be on it.
Baby steps. Baby steps. Just try it. Baby steps.
I don't understand why I have to try when I think Rashan gave you a very good recommendation
but
of
at the
how to
same
handle
time,
me.
he said that, he finds it in a completely different direction.
Well, because he
that's
isn't as
for
hard
me.
on himself as I am on myself.
And it's
Well, that's just it. There's no reason for you to be hard on yourself.
Well, it is,
You
though,
are a
for
beautiful,
me.
vibrant woman. And I keep telling you that.
Not what I needed.
What you mean that's what you needed?
I'm just saying. I mean, I feel I like my process. I know in
Your
the
process
moment.
is to stand still. How's that a
No,
process?
my process is to not go back and watch the footage and then be very critical of myself, feel bad about myself, blah blah blah. It's just what I choose to not do. And like, if you see something that you think I'm doing, you probably need to work on sitting up straight, using your hands less. Because that was the other thing that was going on with me. I was trying so hard not to use my hands a lot. For one, my nails weren't done, and Silver out there with them fabulous claws. I was like, damn, bitch. But okay.
But and again, and you gonna take this as criticism, but the voice that you were doing, I thought was so cute.
What voice?
Your voice was completely different. You had like this refined voice.
I'm trying to be professional.
You didn't say like my baby daddy. You were like my partner at the time.
But that's what you're supposed to see.
So what is the difference? This is TV too.
No, it's not.
Well, I think the I don't want to say platform, but I guess maybe the genre is different.
Right.
Because I see it as like We Speak to Me is a lot more serious, and that's why I used to say to you, Tony, I want to see the script, like, and I would ask you all these questions, like, what are we going to talk about? Because I want to know.
Did I send you the script last week?
No, you didn't.
Oh my bad.
And I'm going to tell you exactly which was actually good.
Yeah.
And I shared that with Alvin. I said, you know what? The funny thing is, I usually ask for it, and I said I talked to Tony,
and I usually don't like sending it because I think it makes a person
better
too
when
prepared.
it's spontaneous, right?
Well, my thing is I don't like to not have a clue.
See, and that's me, and that's where I thought
I'm
I
not
did.
going to.
Yeah, but I think there's a difference. There's a difference in
minute.
the way that we had done the previous shows because there were specific topics that you needed to do some research on. But with the personality test, you didn't need to do any
but
research.
that's why I'm saying
because that would have been something that was already in your head.
Exactly. That's why I thought it was fine for this particular one. And I said, based on the questions, it actually made me think and really speak more emotionally than from my head. Mm-hmm. And so, which was, I think, more of what you were going for that particular show.
Yeah, I need to be more precise in those questions the next time we do that because there was a mixture of funny questions and serious questions, and it's like more of the serious ones got pulled out, and I needed some levity in there somewhere.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the levity ones were more towards the bottom, I guess, or whatever, and I should have.
And see, and something else you didn't understand about me in that show, I am an introvert. You all don't like to believe that, but I am a very introverted person, and normally I would have needed to.
You are way out of the frame, Mr. Broadnax.
I would have needed to think about the answers more. So I was a little bit impressed with myself that I was even able to come up with things as quickly as I did, because normally that's not my get down. Normally, I need to know what we're going to talk about so that I could prepare. Mm-hmm. And I came totally like not even knowing what we were going to talk about, but was ready to jump in. And I wasn't super nervous. So see, for me,
nervous because I called you like 2 hours before.
Exactly. But that's the point. And the fact that I pulled through and I was okay with my outfit and I had makeup on. Do you know how many like things I overcame to do that show? And then for you to tell me, oh, you should watch it because you could have really improved yourself. And where are you? Who was that was on the stage? Francis. I don't know who that was, and I was like,
I thought you
damn.
did fabulous, Dawn.
Thank you.
I told her
For
that.
me,
I'm
I
saying
did
in
good.
general. I'm saying
In the
even this
obstacles.
show you need to be watching. It's a good show.
Isn't it a good show?
Well, this would be a
Kewl-Aid
good
Chronicles
topic.
is excellent.
It's
show.
funny. It's funny.
Yeah,
I can tell it's funny.
So let me ask you this: what did you learn about yourself during that show?
Ooh,
You answered that. That was the final
no.
question.
Well, not really. I didn't really like my answer to that final question. That was tough. I don't understand why you did that way. They can't.
Because I needed more space. I needed more. I needed it more.
How are you going to edit that in? I was like, how is he even going to do that? Ooh, how
well,
are
I'll
you gonna
show
do
it to
that?
you, but
Make
you
it
don't want to
make
see
sense.
it because I
don't want to see it. I swear to God, I don't want to see it. But honestly,
do you want to just listen to it?
What I learned, no, because then I hate the sound of my voice on. I hate the sound of my voice.
So do I.
I hate
So you never
the
watched
sound
the
of
thing
my
that we
voice.
did in New Carrollton?
Nothing. I don't watch anything.
So you never watched
that
that?
was good.
Yeah, that was good. That was
The
really
one
good.
from
I watched that like a couple of times. I thought that was really
Really?
good. Yes.
I don't watch. No.
know there was some-
yeah, no, none
I think
of
we
it.
did
None
it
of it. The Mike
radio
News
station.
interview, none of that. I don't watch any of it. It's done. It's over with. I move on.
I watched that a couple times. I thought it was really
Before
good.
we move on, because I had forgotten this is what I was going to say too, that when you said it's about being in the moment, I look at it as cataloging the moment. And so it made me like kind of think, like I've always liked to record things. Partially because I think I'm going to forget things. So you ever see, what was that story with Alfred Woodard and Kathy Bates?
Oh crap! I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it.
The Family I Praise.
Oh.
Yes.
And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that really touched me, because I think that's going to be me, but I'm not sure. But I think I'm going to experience something like that because I've always wanted to catalog everything. Like I used to journal a lot just so that I could remember certain things and pictures.
I never wanted to do that because I always thought like it would be too depressing to read it back.
Oh no. I think, to me, it's, and I guess maybe again, cataloging the moment, it's going back and looking at, wow, that's where I was, you know. Even in the depressing time, that's where you were, but look at where you are now. And so
You still journal?
Periodically, not as much as I used to.
And do you go back and read it?
Now you got Facebook.
I used to. But my whole thought was, in the end, I wanted to have my volumes published as a book.
Okay, Oprah.
And that's what I used to think, but I stopped, so there's like large gaps in between, but I like to catalog, so it's going back to watch it is like reliving that moment, you know, and enjoying that moment again.
But you were also saying to me earlier that you don't even like go back and look at old photos.
I really don't. I don't have a lot
That's
of
what I was
photos.
gonna
My
ask you about
child.
movies.
Yeah, no. Yeah, my
So
child.
you don't do like not like home movies, but like DVDs.
Videos,
Will you watch like the same movie 2 or 3
Oh,
times?
now, yes, I will watch the same movie 2 or 3 times. Like,
Okay.
yeah, I will do
There's
that
one movie-
repetitive. Yeah.
My favorite movie, which is All About Eve, I'll watch it every time it comes on. I'll watch it over and over again. There are very few movies I want to see again.
I did.
Because it's like it
I
stays
watch
in my
movies.
mind too much for me to want to see it. But that was such a well-written, well-acted movie. It's something that I see different nuances every time I watch it.
No. But my one regret is that, especially with my son, and as he was growing up, I didn't take a lot of pictures.
Really?
So he doesn't have, especially when I look at my niece and nephew, how like every second of their life has been documented.
Right.
So you don't have like a lot of baby pictures or something?
I don't have, well, I have baby pictures, but I don't have a lot of just like, I don't know, random family moments at the, when we were on the beach or things like that. Like, I just don't have a lot of that because, or either he has pictures with everybody else but me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I kind of regret that. I do regret that. Well,
I mean,
but
he's still a child, so there's still time to do
yeah, I
that.
mean, it is still time, but now he's a teenager. He don't like take pictures with his mom, that kind of stuff. Or then there's no
Well, get
Olin
over here and
Mills.
take
Yeah,
this
it's no Olin Mills, so you can take.
I'm sorry, what is that?
You don't know Olin Mills? They take, your little family pictures,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is that like a Sears or something?
Yeah, no, it wasn't.
Oh,
I guess now I have to do a photo shoot. That's what everybody does now.
No,
Photo shoot.
what was that other one called? Glamour Shots. Is that what it was?
Exactly, yeah. But how you don't know Olin's Mills and you from the area? That's everybody I thought took pictures at Olin Mills.
And this is like a photo studio, or is it's a department store?
Everybody.
Owens Mill is a city in Maryland.
No.
Right?
Yeah, it is. Owens Mills. Yes, it is. But Olin Mills is the photography place. Like back in the day, if you wanted a family portrait done, you went to Olin Mills. And everybody, well, you went to see, okay, so in DC we had Olin Mills.
Yeah, the series I went to Wisconsin.
Excuse me, I'm dating myself. It's okay.